Thank you for tuning in to The Reading, produced by Black Spectrum Network. Click the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get the latest updates on this channel. If you want to receive these and other videos at least 1 week ahead of their YouTube release date, then subscribe to our Patreon at www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. We offer online courses that teach how to do tarot, create magical potions, and how to work with your ancestors, deities, and African Diaspora spirits. Visit the Shrine of Black Epistemology at blackepistemology.com. If you like mentorship with me or one of our staff, book a mentorship consultation on our website at www.blackspectrumnetwork.com. So we're going to go ahead and get into the reading about Marvin Gaye. So the first question we're going to ask about Marvin Gaye is, did he have a preference for girls under the age of 18? Because in the questions that were posed in the community page, someone asked, well, someone said that he had a baby by his niece who was 15, and then his second wife, I don't know, I guess he was messing with her since she was 16. So I'm not familiar with Marvin Gaye, don't know a Marvin Gaye song before my time. But some people do know Marvin Gaye, and they're from Memphis and they're into him, but whatever. Anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't say he had a preference for underage women. I just get that he was looking for companionship. I get that he had a preference for young women. The younger you were, the more desirable you became. I also feel like he was the sort of man that would cheat on his wife with a woman who was younger just because he was attracted to youth and youthfulness. I don't want to say that he preferred younger women. Like, I don't want to put an age range on it, but I do get that, you know, if a woman was 23, 24, she also, you know, she was also young enough for him to consider her for dating and to have sex with this woman. With the Ten of Swords here being the card for ruin, he never thought about these things ruining his career. Actually, the most that he thought about was that these women may use him. These women may not love him for who he is. And they may only want him for his money. Okay, so I'm seeing him. I'm not seeing a lot of scrutiny and judgment for his behaviors, actually. I'm saying like he did these things out in the open. He talked about it as well. But ultimately, from this Princess of Cups, it seems that he drew inspiration from, you know, these encounters with these young women. And I'm also saying that he wrote songs about them. I get that this wasn't just sexual for him. This was also about him trying to figure out, he was trying to figure out his own emotional trauma. There were things that he had to work through emotionally, and he was doing it in his relationships, no matter how old the person was. For him, you know, those girls were young adults. You know, for him, those girls didn't look their age for him. And so that's how he evaluated them. The other thing that I see here, is that he's someone that felt like he had multiple soulmates, and he never felt like he could find the right one, like the woman that was really supposed to be into him. Nevertheless, I do get from these cards that he also had, I don't know, from this Lover's card, I feel like there were older women that had touched him when he was younger. I feel like he lost his virginity to an older woman at a young age. I feel like the behavior that the behaviors that he had to negotiate and rationalize. No, the sexual experiences that he has to negotiate and rationalize with these, and especially because they were adult experiences, he then rationalized to himself that he could do the same thing. So it's kind of like this type of behavior begets more of this sort of behavior. So I want to classify it as pedophilia, but I also know that pedophilia is a socially constructed term, and I mean it's pedophilia to me. But you know, I know some people in the comments are gonna say this is a different age and different time and all this other shit. So maybe it wasn't considered to be pedophilia then, not by, you know, maybe it was by a legal standard, but not in terms of like people's social expectations or in terms of their sensibilities and what they consider to be morally wrong. Okay, so this is also saying that a lot of these young women, you know, the star card is here, right? And this is my card for prayer. But this is like PREYED. He prayed on these women. But these were swift relationships. I don't think that, you know, I mean, I get why people are asking, was there a preference for underage women? I just think it was a preference for young women that were really cute. I see that he had an attraction to a certain youthful aesthetic, but also at the same time there's a naivete that these women had about themselves that really didn't dissuade him from dealing with these girls. It's like it was about control for him as well. So being able to control the expectations of where he wanted, being able to control the trajectory of the relationship and to determine his destination based off of where he expected it to go, if only because he could control the women with his money, right? So it was probably like a very janky ass sentence. I'm sorry, but what I do get from this is that, you know, a yes. You know, I would say yes, but you know, this is his energy, and different time, different culture, you know, different sets of norms, values, beliefs, and you know, those inner workings. I mean, those inner workings of an institutionalized society. Definitely. Shit. Look, it's pedophilia. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. So, did his father or his brother shoot him? His father. Very simple. His father shot him. It was his father, and his father shot him fast. I don't see this being his brother. I know someone in the comments said, "Hey, was this his brother that shot him or his father?" No, it was his father. I know that they said it was a rumor that his brother shot him. They were like, "It's a rumor his brother actually shot him." His father tried to cover it up, but I'm not getting that in all from this particular card. I'm saying that this is over a heated ass argument. These motherfuckers was like always at each other's throats. I feel like Marvin had some mommy issues that he was dealing with and taking it out on his dad. I also feel like his dad was abusive as well. But okay, what happened? They fought over money. They literally they were fist fighting with each other. This was a fist fight. And I wouldn't even be surprised if later on in this reading I see that during this altercation and Marvin Gaye were under the influence of some drug or some substance. Yeah, his father tried to kill him because the death card just came out. This was a fight over money, and his Marvin Gaye owing his dad some money, promising to promising to pay his father some money. So I don't know. Obviously, I don't know who Marvin Gaye is. So y'all need to tell me what role did his father play in Marvin Gaye's music career. But Marvin Gaye owed his dad money. That's what this was over. It's either over money, paying a bill, some property. But his father did try to kill him. Okay, I got the card for Metamorphosis, the Ten of Spades. So I get the feeling that I'm getting this feeling from Marvin Gaye's energy that he came to his father's house after, like, I don't know. I feel like this is in his father's home. I feel like prior to Marvin Gaye coming to his father's home, prior to the altercation, I feel like Marvin Gaye got into a scuffle or a shuffle. Like he was arguing with his wife. I feel like there was definitely some emotional spillover. I feel like that was a very hard week for Marvin Gaye. Please let me know in the comments, like, the date that he got shot, because I need to look into that day. But that's all to say that Marvin had a lot on his mind, and I guess his father had a lot in his gun, because his dad was like, his dad had been wanting to kill him. He and his dad did not have a good relationship. I feel like they tried to respect one another, and I feel like there was dysfunction that they tried to work through, and to just be cordial with each other. But I do get that his father really wanted to kill him. I get that his father really began to hate his son, and I feel that Marvin Gaye hated himself because he knew that his dad hated him too. But I don't feel like things were always that way. I feel like Marvin Gaye did things to cause his father to hate him. I also feel like his father was abusive to him. That's just how I hear it. That's just how I hear it. I mean, some of you may feel like you're never supposed to hate your children, but I see hate in these cards. All right. So, the rest of these cards are saying that Marvin Gaye's father was quick-witted and said some very sharp things about Marvin that night, particularly about Marvin acting or trying to be someone that he's not. As you can see indicated by the Jack of Spades, thinking that he can see beyond, that he can see more than what other people see. I'm also saying, because the other thing about the Jack of Spades has incredibly difficult relationships, sometimes with same-sex partners. I think that there's something in their life spread about the Jack of Spades, and I know that a lot of Jack of Spades people, spades people in general, if there's a Jack of Spades or a Queen of Spades, they typically have like some they may be queer or bisexual, but yeah, I feel like his dad also may have said things about his son's sexuality as well, perhaps calling him like a sissy or another slur. But his father shot him. I'm not doubtful in that. All right, so what's your favorite Marvin Gaye song? I don't have a favorite Marvin Gaye song, obviously, but let me know in the comments, or tell me in the chat, what's your favorite Marvin Gaye song? All right, so were he and Tammy Terrell lovers? Were Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell lovers? Whew. Okay, this looks like an affair. Okay, so it looks like Tammy Terrell doesn't want to admit that there were a few sexual encounters between she and Marvin Gaye, but I get that she doesn't want to be known as an adulterer. So I'm not sure when Tammy Terrell was working with Marvin Gaye if he was married at the time or not, but I'm very strongly assuming that he was. But nevertheless, yes, this was transpiring. This was happening with them. I'm seeing that Tammy Terrell didn't really want this information to get out. I see that she was the one that was much more secretive than he was. There's a song the two of them did together. I feel like it's a duet because the devil card is here. There's a duet that these two did. I feel like it's a sexual song too, and I feel like that song is about their relationship. it's a popular song. I see it as being a very popular song. Maybe not a number one hit, but popular during its time for what it was. And I see that this song inspired a lot of speculation that they were with each other. I'm not sure who Marvin Gaye was, but whatever song that they got where they talking about fucking and sucking and ready to bite. I'm just playing. But whatever song that they have where they're talking about maybe a one night stand or something hot and romantic. In order to match the energy of that song, they had to, test each other out a little bit. They had a soulmate relationship. She really liked him. She really liked him. They were best friends to each other. But at the same time, I feel that she felt she had to keep the relationship hidden. This was not something that she could allow to get out, and I get that it would have damaged her career, but it was also. But I don't think it would have affected him in a negative way. Because he couldn't commit to her, this hurt her feelings more than it hurt his. Nevertheless, I feel like she had someone too. I feel like Tammy Terrell has someone as well. All right, this final row of cards is speaking about. This is Three of Pentacles. Yeah, it's Three of Pentacles. Okay, so this final row of cards is speaking about. Is speaking about Tammy Terrell being the friend that when Marvin Gaye was down, she picked him back up. And sometimes picking him back up meant to have sex. And sometimes that meant to be a lover for a small period of time, just for him to rehabilitate himself, to get himself back on his feet. Sometimes your get up and go has gotten up and gone, and she had to help, show him that Stella got his groove still, especially because I feel like he went into these he could spend long periods of time by himself, isolating himself from other people, and just needing to re-enter society in a comfortable way. And if you've been off the market for a while, sometimes you just need like an easy target. Somebody's just like, hey, I got you. You need some sex, I got you. Until let me be your layover. Now we want to know, what was their relationship like in general? There's actually a card in here that I see. Oops, that shouldn't even be in this deck. So we've been reading with a deck that is missing a card. Nevertheless, okay. I've been reading with decks that have been missing cards for a long time anyway, so. All right. All right, so they made they made music together. They did very well. From what I can tell about this, it was easy for them to get in the studio and to get out the studio, and it was and if it was difficult for them to get out of the studio, it's because they were just having so much fun that they just didn't want to leave. Now, they should have put out lots of music with each other very quickly. It looks like they should have performed at events spontaneously with one another. They really enjoyed each other's companies. It's like they balance each other out. It looks like Tammy Terrell was a more energetic one, and Marvin Gaye was more subdued and mellow. But I feel like they had a karmic relationship with each other. I feel very strongly like they had a past life together. Yeah, this is him. This is Marvin Gaye. Okay, so Tammy Terrell. It was Tammy Terrell's idea for them to stay working together. sometimes Marvin Gaye would allow his feelings to get in the way, and she was like, you know what, we're gonna secure this bag. She wasn't gonna stop the bag. I also see them living together. And don't get me wrong, like I don't mean this is like living together romantically, but I feel like this is if Tammy Terrell went through a terrible time in her.
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline